I want to give an overview of the DreamLiner and talk about the many different lights, buttons, and switches you'll find here. Each button or switch is connected to a different redstone component located somewhere throughout the plane. There are several different types of controls here. Some are more important than others. There's a lot of lighting controls, interior and exterior, cabin lights, emergency exit lights, fasten seat belt, and non-smoking lights, stuff like that. You also have some interesting controls like window washers, clean those windows there. Um, we got a lot of information coming in as sensors, so all these lights here actually are giving information to the cockpit about the status on the engines, the fuel levels. I have some weather indicator lights here that'll tell me if it's raining or thundering. Maps. So these are kind of inputs, and then we have outputs as represented by the levers. So there's two. It's a dual engine, and these four levers here. There's two levers for each engine that represents the throttle, and we'll look at the engine, what it's doing. It's actually turning on or turning off some of the turbines that are in there. So when I pull back on this lever, it actually changes the engine physically, and it's directly connected to this light, so it should verify that it's turned off. Now I know my right engine is on first throttle and my second engine is on full throttle. So once you learn about the aircraft, then you can, kind of play around in here. Now I said this is a weather detector here, so I'm gonna change the weather. So right now it's clear and they're off. So if it starts raining, this first light should light up and give me an alert that it's raining, because it might not be so obvious. Right. So the second light indicates if it's thunder out, which is obviously a more serious situation, and I want to be alerted to that as well. So right now I know it's raining and thundering, and I gotta be extra careful. Safety comes first here. So here we have some of the lighting controls. This first button here is the cabin light, which illuminates the entire cabin area. We prefer to have that off for our red eye folks. So here's it on, and here's it off. This next button is the fasten seatbelt sign. I can toggle that on or off to notify passengers to fasten their seatbelts. Turn it on, you'll see the lights turn on, and a nice little audible alert to remind our passengers to fasten their seatbelts. And if we need to notify them again, there's actually another button that just does the audible alarm to reinforce to our passengers to fasten seatbelts. So another interior light is the emergency exit lights. I can turn this on at any moment to turn on the emergency exit lights that will illuminate on the ground and lead us to the nearest exit. As you see here, these two lights represent the nearest exit. Another exit down here. This is just a drill, sir. No worries. It's just a drill. It's kind of scary in here. These lights do kind of lag the plane a little bit, so let me turn those off. That's an overview of the lighting system. I wanted to show what it's like back here in the cabin area of the DreamLiner to see what it would be like to be a passenger here. Above every seat aisle we have nice storage compartment to store valuables. The seats are decorated in a royal blue with other hints of blue and turquoise, as well as a birchwood and teak finish all throughout the cabin. You'll find that the seats are very spacious, a lot of leg room here, at least one block wide of leg room, nice and wide seats, even with the tray back down. Still got some little leg room there. TVs behind the seats, different controls. You have individual reading lights, so each light only shines directly down above the seat and doesn't therefore disturb your neighbor. You got a little flight attendant button here to notify the crew. Little things that look like vents, not really functional, but look like little AC controls. These also double as if the pilot presses the emergency oxygen button, there will actually be little pipes that drop down in front of every seat that look like little oxygen masks. So those will break down if that is deployed. Fasten seatbelt button, light, I should say. And we have a nice little view here outside of our DreamLiner. Nice little storage and crafting entertainment areas here. Very cool. Very nice flight. Wouldn't be bad to be a passenger here. So before I go, I wanted to just share some thoughts I had in general about this build. Kind of what my mindset and vision are for making these kinds of designs. Um, I always really like to mix in creative design, focusing on aesthetics, making things look curved and symmetrical and pretty. Um, I always like mixing that in with redstone tech, hardcore redstone, hiding cables, moving blocks, making things look like they're doing something crazy or cool. Um, and I like mixing those two aspects together. And usually I found that vehicles like airplanes are a good platform to mix aesthetics in with redstone tech. So, for example, this engine here. I mean, if you were going to build a jet engine, how would you go about it in Minecraft? I mean, so I thought, all right, well, we have to make something look like it's spinning, and how do we do that? So, moving blocks, and here we have a little block rotating in a tight little square, and then around that, there's another circle of pistons going. So there's multiple different circuits going on here with different timings, and to make it look like there's a circle within a circle and it's spinning like blades. So, I mean, I thought that ended up pretty cool considering the limitations of what you can do with redstone. So I think at a distance it looks even better. It looks like those are blades spinning in a nice circle there around a core, like a turbine. So I was definitely very happy with how the engine came out. And I'll probably going to do a video on just how on the engine itself and how it works. Definitely the most complicated part of the whole build, but a lot of fun. Definitely cool. This one you can see the timings are off. This it just looks crazy, but it kind of looks cool in its own way. So if you go back, you can see looks like there's a lot going on there. Like what is going on? So, but you can see there's that core circle, and then around it there's just different piston timings. But if you could, I'm just gonna do a quick little walkthrough here of what's going on inside here. I mean, there's just a lot of timings, um, a lot of condensed redstone, and because we had to fit it inside this little space, so that was another challenge. You can see a little bit of the core spinning. So I know that this could probably be more streamlined and compact. So that'd be a good design challenge. I'm going to share this link in the description so you can download it, and you can make any kind of modifications. I built it in a way that it's customizable and scalable. So it'd be interesting to, put some color on it, make some adjustments, and then, you can share your build as well. So probably not going to build something this massive again. This took probably well over 100 hours over the course of a year, a couple hours here and there. Definitely not going to build something at this scale again, but I had a lot of fun. I was really happy with how it came out. And one last thing, I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of underneath the seats just to show you kind of the cabling and what it's like down here under the seats and under the plane and the guts. So you can see all these wires are coming down from the cockpit, and they go to various parts of the plane. They're all color coordinated. So I know, okay, yellow's for fuel, pink and orange are going to the engines, it's landing gear, emergency lighting systems, tail lights, wing lights, um, a lot of engine controls. You can see these all go to the wings here in a very condensed area. It just gets crazy under here. And here we go into the engine. There's that engine we saw earlier. And you can see there's still a lot of space in here for more parts. It's just hard to bring all the cables come to a bottleneck when they come into the engine or to the cockpit. The space gets smaller, so a bottleneck occurs. So that's the hard part, is getting things into that narrow space. Here's the tail. A lot of little components going on at work here. Here are the weather detectors. Compare the time of day and if it's raining or thundering. And last thing is, like, here's the aisle, right? It's this little sliver in the fuselage. Probably 30% of the fuselage is that cabin. Yet the cabin feels big. It feels like it takes up the whole plane. But really, look at all the space above it. Those are all the above the seats, all the lighting controls and attendant light, stuff like that. And then under the seat, there's a massive amount of space. So truly massive build. It's been a lot of fun, though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My name is Pete, and I'll see you guys again with another Minecraft build.